So Year 8, today we're going to talk about Medicare levy and tax. Medicare is Australia's normal health care scheme. As part of our tax, we pay the Medicare levy. In return for this, Medicare pays for basic health services such as visits to the local doctor, x-rays and pathology. The Medicare levy is 2% of a person's taxable income. This is the rate that the majority of people pay. People who are on low incomes do not pay any Medicare levy or pay the levy at a reduced rate. In Australia, the government encourages people to take out private health insurance in addition to Medicare. This is to take the pressure off the public health system. They encourage people to do this in two ways. So the government provides a 30% rebate. It's means tested, which means it's based on your income and the cost of private health insurance. People on higher incomes who do not have private health insurance are charged a Medicare levy surcharge, so you're charged more. So let's just work with the Medicare levy being 2%. We're not going to worry about all the extra complications of who pays more and who pays less. So if you are asked a question where you are asked to calculate the Medicare levy for a person with an annual taxable income of $58,300, you just want to find 2%, which is 2 over 100, of their income. 2% of 58,300 is $1,166. So let's do that again. Question 2. Calculate the total Medicare levy for a person with a taxable income of $170,000 per annum, which means per year. So again, Medicare levy is 2% of their $170,000 income. That is $3,400 that person would have to pay. Jenny has a gross weekly wage of $984. Gross means the total amount without deductions taken out. So if we want to find her gross annual, which means yearly wage, we want to multiply the $984 by 52 because there is 52 weeks in a year. That makes $51,168 that Jenny is earning. However, now we have to calculate Jenny's Medicare levy. So she is going to have to pay 2%, so 2 over 100, times her income, which is $51,168, which means she is going to have to pay $1,023.36 of her income towards the Medicare levy. So once you work out things like Medicare levy, we want to now come to the next deduction in pay, which is tax. Although we may calculate a person's pay, it is not the amount that they receive each week. The amount that we calculate is based on their wage or salary. That is called their gross pay or gross wage. From this total pay, which is your gross pay, deductions can be made from this, such as tax, union fees, private health insurance, superannuation, and so on. The amount left after all these deductions have been taken out is called your net pay, and this is the amount that you actually receive. So the gross pay is the total amount. If you subtract off all your deductions like Medicare levy and tax and those kinds of things, then you'll get the net pay, which is what you actually get paid. So let's have a go at that. Tom has a gross pay of $753.95. Tom has deductions of $173.75, also $21.35 of superannuation, and union fees of $8.50. What is Tom's net pay? Is in how much is he going to have left? He started with $753.95. and we have to take away all of his extra costs. So we take away the $173.75 for tax, we take away his $21.35 for super, and we take away his $8.50 for union fees, which means he's actually only really getting paid each week $550.35. Question 2. Zach is a shop assistant and he also has union fees deducted from his pay each week. If his annual fee, union fee, is $582.40, calculate the size of Zach's weekly union deduction. So we're not working out a net pay here, we just want to know how much is he paying each week to be a part of this union. He pays $582.40 for a whole year. If we divide that by 52, that means that he is paying $11.20 per week to be part of that union. So have a go at this next section on Medicare levy and net pay.